Welcome back. Well, on our show today, we have Becky Lamaka, who is here on behalf of O'Connor Mortuary. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, too.
You know, of course, here we are at the holidays. We already had Thanksgiving, and now we have a Christmas time frame and then New Year's. And a lot of people, I know you and I have talked about this before. We actually did an extended segment on your health that really dove into what people can do in regards to the holidays and feeling lonely and isolated. And COVID didn't help anybody either during those time frames.
It did not. It did not.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of go through a couple of things that I think would be helpful for people who are in these time frames. But before we do that, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm the grief specialist at O'Connor Mortuary. I come alongside the families that we serve, helping them with support, helping them find resources available in the community to them. And then a big part of what I do is talk with our healthcare partners on how to come alongside people who are grieving and come alongside people who are dying.
Yeah. And then I just asked you if you do talks, and you said you just went off to do a talk about with military families. And of course, they have to deal with things too. Either they've lost a loved one or someone is far away and they can't see them. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. So what do you think it is about this time frame that really makes people feel sad?
Well, you know, and it could be a very recent death that someone's experienced, or it could be a death that happened years ago. With the holidays, you know, most of our traditions are deeply rooted in family, right? And so, you know, you remember things, you and I can remember, oh gosh, when we were kids, our parents used to do this, or we would go here, or we would see this this play or this event. And so it brings those memories back. I mean, it really, it reminds us of that person who is no longer here.
Right. And so what are some things that you think people should do if they are feeling like that? Especially, I mean, I know a lot of people around here have been married for a really long time and they may have just lost their significant other. And boy, that dealing with that must be pretty difficult.
Yeah. I think the thing I tell people, the best thing we can do, and it's hard because we do want to retreat and COVID didn't help, right? We want to tuck our heads under the covers and say, wake me up on January 2nd.
Yeah.
But one of the best things we can do is bring our person with us during the holidays. So find ways that you can have that person there. Is it a candle? Is it making the favorite dish that maybe this person always cooked on this special holiday? Literally having a seat at the table, playing the favorite songs. And bringing that person along. I think one of the things that people have a hard time with is grief and joy can be simultaneous.
Okay.
So we can enjoy moments of the holidays while we're still grieving, and that's okay. A lot of times people think, I need to be sad, I can't celebrate, I can't find these happy moments. And really that is not true in our grief. We celebrate these moments of joy, that person is still with us in our hearts.
So what if grieving goes on much longer than what you would expect? Like for instance, somebody 3 years down the road is still grieving and they still can't move past. Do you still do those same things?
You do. You do. Absolutely do. And really, we never really stop grieving. Most of us do well in our grief, and over time, those edges soften a bit, and we have more happy memories. Tears are the price we pay for somebody we love. So as I say, it could be 20 years, and we still may hear a special song or a special day on the calendar is going to bring tears to our eyes because we love and care about that person. So we always grieve. I would say to somebody, if you are grieving and can't function and you can't move forward, you can't get out of the house, then we do have professionals who can help you with that. It's called prolonged grief disorder. And so, you know, there are professionals who can help you along that path. But most of the time, the majority of us, we grieve, yet we do move forward and we incorporate that loss into our lives.
And what can loved ones do? Because I know that, let's say for instance, you have a younger child that doesn't understand that grandpa or grandma are so upset that they're missing their loved one. What are some things that you could advise either children of the family, grandchildren, or even their children?
Sure. That is a question that I get a lot is what about the children, right? Everybody wants it. And we can actually learn from the children. they actually do really well. What I say to families is answer the question. If a child asks, simply answer the question. Most of the time we don't have to go down a rabbit hole. We simply say, Grandpa died. I'm sad because Grandpa died. Share the stories with them. Share memories. Tell me your favorite memory of Grandpa.
Okay.
And so we let the kids know. And one thing is, kids grieve as they age differently too. So a 5-year-old is going to grieve the death of somebody close to them one way at the age of 5, a different way at the age of 10, different way at teenagers.
Right.
And for teenagers, that's the other thing. Teenagers, they want to be off with their friends. They want to do their thing. So again, while everybody else you may think, oh my gosh, this child doesn't care, this teenager doesn't care. That's their natural way, is like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do things and I'm going to be with my friends, and that's how I am grieving.
Okay. And let's say that, for instance, the grandparent is in the room, and then you have a child that's in there too. How does the child approach the grandparent who just lost a loved one? Can they ask about the loved one that's gone?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Storytelling is a very natural part of our grief. And most of the time, sometimes people get worried and they say, oh gosh, don't bring up the person's name, don't say. Yet we all still remember, especially during the holidays, that person is close to our hearts, that person is on our heart. So even though it may bring tears, people want you to say their person's name. People want to tell stories. They want to hear stories about their loved ones. So I would absolutely say, yes, let the children ask and let the children tell their stories of grandpa or grandma.
Now, I think this time of year is a twofold system, especially if you are having to have a funeral with someone who has just died, and then you also have the holidays. How do you incorporate all of that?
Well, it is a really hard time of year. I mean, it's always hard when someone you love dies, and I think during the holidays can be especially difficult. And one of the best things you can do is realize it and accept it and grieve it. And it's okay to say, you know what, I'm so mad, I'm so angry. Feelings are simply energy.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily good or bad, and that's something I tell people a lot too, is it's okay to feel all of the things. We should ourselves a lot, right? Oh, I shouldn't be doing this, I should be doing this instead, and to allow yourself to feel those emotions, to allow yourself to feel angry, and we call these secondary losses. Sometimes we're grieving the fact that I'm so mad because we were supposed to go on a trip January 2nd, right? And so then I feel guilty. Gosh, am I grieving this trip now more than I'm grieving the death? And we get into our heads and say to everybody, it's okay. Some days you may grieve those secondary losses more than you actually grieve the death loss, and that's okay. Give yourself that grace.
Well, thank you for allowing us permission to do all these things, because I think we do need to hear it from someone else, because we are very hard on ourselves.
Yes, we are.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy
Thank you so much for the
holidays.
information, and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
All right. If you want more information about any of the things that we have discussed, you can always give O'Connor Mortuary a call at the number that's on the screen, or you can go to their website. We'll be right back.